Alright, so some of these problems can be done on just right on the calculator, and so this is our special calculator edition. So let's go back and look at a couple of the problems we did. Length of growing seasons. The growing season for a random sample of 35 US cities were recorded, yielding a sample mean of 190 days, 90.7 days. The population standard deviation is 54.2 days. Estimate for all US cities the true mean of the growing season with 95% confidence. Alright, so on your calculator, this calculator TI-8384, you go to Stat, go over to Test, go down to number 7, Z interval, because we knew the population standard deviation, so it's a Z interval. We're not going to plug it in as data, which we could. We'll put in the standard deviation, which they give us as 54.2 days. Then we'll plug in the mean, which is 190.7 days, 35 cities, and then 0.95 confidence levels. Hit calculate, and we have our interval, 72.74 to 208.66, and we can round it off to however many digits we want. Okay? Alright, so the other one is the T interval. So let's do thunderstorm speeds. A meteorologist who sampled 13 randomly selected thunderstorms found that the average speed at which they traveled across a certain state was 15 miles per hour. The standard deviation sample was 1.7 miles per hour, finding 99% confidence interval of the mean. So we're not going to go any further, we'll just do that. So on the calculator, Stat, go to Tests. This time we're going to go down to a T interval because the standard deviation was from the sample and not the population. Again, it's a statistic, so we put in the mean, 15.0. And this time we put in the standard deviation, which is 1.7. And we have 13 randomly selected in our sample and 0.99 confidence interval. Hit calculate, and we get our interval 13.56 to 16.44. Alright, so the last one that we're going to do is for proportion, because this calculator doesn't do the chi-squares. Other calculators will, but we're just going to stick to this one. Manual transmission automobiles. In 1980, more than 35% of cars purchased had a manual transmission. By 2007, the proportion had decreased to 7.7%. Okay, so here's the problem. A random sample of college students who own cars revealed the following. Out of 122 cars, 26 had stick shifts. Estimate the proportion of college students who drive stick shifts with 90% confidence. So again, on the calculator, this time we go to Stat, over to Test, and this time we're looking for a 1 proportion Z interval, and we put in our X, which was 26. We plug in our N, which is 122, and our confidence interval, 90%. Hit calculate, and we have our interval from 15.2% to 27.5%.